Welcome to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. For those that might find themselves here for the first time, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And to those that might not know why they find themselves here, I would suggest sticking around for this message. There might be some things that cause a lot of I guess confusion and more questions, which I think at this point is actually a really great space to start in, everyone. I feel like there are some spaces in the collective where once we feel like we know enough, I feel like that's when we don't know nothing at all. And I've been sat in a lot of, I guess, trying to process everything and allowing myself to just have more questions and that be okay, and to come back to this with a fresh understanding of there is a whole new layer of everything that is opening up day by day, and it's okay to not know everything. And I think we're going to have to keep stepping forward with this idea of just we are learning as we go, and it's okay to question everything, and also I think just remain arms wide open at this point, everyone. I realize that there is a lot of fear that comes up within these realms, and I hold my hands up to that too. As much as I'm in contact with all my teams of light at all times, it's not every day that they step forward and protect me from everything. They do energetically, but they let me experience things so that I know my own strength, and also I know that, so that then I know that I can protect myself, and also that I'm in control as well somewhere, everyone. I feel like there might be this understanding in the collective that everything's out of control, and that's just not true. And this is definitely something that Crow brings forward in today's message, and I think it's a space that a lot of us find ourselves in right now, is this idea that we aren't in control over what happens to us. And to some degree, I want to say that is true somewhere, but also we get to decide how we respond to what happens, and that's where we have the control. It's not necessarily we're in control as to what situations happen. Those of us that are in karmic ties with people, those of us that are contracted into other people's lives, but we have the control over our emotions and how we respond to those situations. And I think that was the bit that I was missing a lot this lifetime. I was just incredibly confused a lot of the time, but I didn't stand in my own power of how I was able to self-regulate. For one, I had to teach myself that again. And also this idea of you're always okay, as you are in yourself, and it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter your surroundings. You are safe within your own vessel, you are safe within your own body, and making your body be your home. And I think it came to this understanding maybe about a couple of years ago, when everything just felt the most chaotic that it has ever felt in my life. And I really felt like I didn't have anywhere solidly to turn. I thought, I have to start being my own safe space, because I feel like from now on things just aren't going to feel safe around me. And that has definitely been the case. So I'm glad that I came to that understanding 2 years ago, so that I could prepare for where I find myself right now, everyone. I think that some of you might just be on the brink of coming to this understanding and realizing that you're going to have to make yourself your home, so that you feel safe in your own skin. And everyone should feel safe in their own skin. I feel like I wish that more the most for everyone right now, is just to feel peace and content in their own skin, everyone. But there is a lot from Crow today, more than I realized in a quite short message. And I've realized that he has quite similar energy to Brittany Murphy. When I was channeling Brittany Murphy, that she would bring through so much but say so little. And I realized actually Crow's quite the same, and you have to pick up on the nuances and the way that he says things, and the understanding. There were some one-liners in this where I thought, oh, that changes everything. So I hope that some of you come to those revelations yourself. There's no doubt in my mind that you will. But I think re-listen to the Crow messages, because there is a lot more within them, and specifically coded within them. I think we're having to be a little bit cryptic right now, everyone, with regards to the disclosure, and everything has had to shift my end. We have less and less time together, Crow and I, and he comes through in different ways to tell me that he is here and to give his information, because there's just been too much interference. And last week I was just absolutely bombarded to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. So we've switched tactics, and we seem to be going okay for now, but I feel like this might be something that is just a back and forth for some time. And yeah, we're getting through it, everyone. But a lot slower than I had anticipated. I don't think I've taken on this reptilian regime to this degree before, and yeah, it's different, is what I want to share at this point. But today's message from Crow was titled My Feelings. Well, where to start today? So much shared this week, and I fear it is only the beginning. I want all to know we have everything under control, though it may seem fearful and frightening to those new to these realms. This is the way of the world. It always has been. You just weren't in awareness of. You are safe, each and every one of you. Today, I wish to come forward with more confessions. My heart is breaking for those whom I harmed. My heart is breaking for those who are still in the grasp of such darkness. I wish to share that you can set yourself free. Although you may feel there is only one way, this is an illusion. You can say no to anything, any being, no matter how large or overpowering they seem. You must come to your knees and ask to be shown the light, for I promise you, you will, regardless, once you reach the other side. I tried my hardest to not fear all that I was experiencing, but I did, somewhere. I did, and this was part of the reason why the darkness had such a hold over me. I feared my own power and strength, and somewhere those in higher places told me I had none. I would meet beings, greet them, and they would tell me exactly what to do. Show me the way, and I listened out of fear, out of regret for not being more, for not loving more, for not being able to love more. I promise you, anything you fear will come to haunt you, not just this side, but the other. This is something that is missed time and time again. You are not just your body, you are not just this one life. You have had many, and it's up to you to decide to make changes now, not in the future. I say this to those of light, not just in the dark. It is time for you to say, I'm ready, I'm here, and I will witness all that I need to reform this world. I see so many turn away at the final hurdle, and this is out of fear. I knew of something more than just one God. I think this is why I turned my head in the first place. My father's passing was merely the icing on a terribly hard and decaying cake. I was older than my years. I was wiser than I let on. I was also guided by so many whom I had no idea who they truly were. So many around me weaving my path without my full understanding and knowing. So many I then in turn used and pawned and played and sold and borrowed and stole and pillaged time and time again. I am not proud. I'm working through great grief and sadness. My remorse overwhelms me, I promise you. It hurts still to stand in the light. I'm doing all that I can to ease the pain of others, and in turn, it eases mine. I open my heart to all today to say, I will never turn and leave a soul behind again. I had no idea of the pure devastation caused when a soul is separate from body under such distress. It does not leave you. You must heal this side of the veil. I have so much to share, but that is all for today. I will continue with difficult messages next week. I'm sorry it has to be so slow. There are interweavings in fine balance this side, and I know in time you will understand. A. Crow. And I think I've needed time, everyone. I really needed yesterday just away from everything. I was away from, my devices, and really just try to come to terms with everything that has been brought to light with regards to my own pathway, my own story, my own life. And, I think that I forget that somewhere, Crow's story is mine, and there is so much of what he's bringing forward that is so interwoven into my own existence that, yeah, it breaks my heart too, you know. There are so many spaces where I can see this darkness has such a hold, and it's hard to not come to knees, you know, every day in the full understanding of what is happening in this world. And time and time again of late, I am taken into spaces, you know, healing spaces with people with amazing souls, with beautiful souls. And lo and behold, all of our souls are connected to spaces where children are, you know, being harmed, or they are connected to spaces where children have been captured. They are connected to spaces where children are being hidden off planet and used to harvest their energy for those, you know, that are still wreaking havoc right now on planet Earth at this time. And I'm reminded every day that this is why I'm truly doing this. This is why, you know, disclosure is happening. This is why information is being brought forward, because there are so many souls that are in pain out there right now, and specifically those of children. And, you know, I bring forward these messages not to bring fear or instill fear in anyone, but just purely as awareness. And I hope this means that you feel like you can set yourself free from the constraints of your own life. And I know so many out there just feel like there's only one path, there's only one way, there's only, you know, one way to do this life, and that's just not true. You can step away, you can break free, you can sidestep out of what we are taught is the norm. And it's not easy. I will never pretend to you that this path is easy. I will never pretend to you that, you know, it's sunshine and sprinkles and sparkles every day, because it's just not. And I try to bring forward as much authenticity as I can, and, you know, perhaps to the detriment somewhere, with regards to this, you know, being a business somewhere too. But I feel like this is just so important that people see the raw aspects of all of this. And it's important to know that you're not alone, and no matter how much or little connection you have to these other realms, it's still difficult out here. We still struggle, and anyone that tells you otherwise is lying, you know. And I'm not about toxic positivity. I'm not about to tell you, you know, stepping into this path will change everything in an instant. I mean, it will, but it will still take courage. It will still take you trying. It will still take you leaping into the unknown, jumping into the unknown, setting yourself on fire, and, you know, drowning in these energies to come back to life, everyone. And that's what it takes to be walking this path. And it's difficult. And something that I think I've been incredibly hesitant in bringing forward, but knowing that now is the time and I have to, is this idea of turning to religion when we get to a place of fear in our own understandings of life and our expanse. And I think this is the end of the road for that, everyone. And, you know, I know this will split the crowd, and please know I experience a lot of light energy. I experience a lot of religions out there, you know, the deities in most religions I've experienced at this point, and I accept them all and know them all to be true. And, you know, part of these realms and part of my understanding and part of my lineage. And I've been, you know, so many things in so many other timelines, so many other lifetimes, that I feel I understand most of it at this point at a soul's level. And I think to cling on to one religion at this point is a point of fear, and to perhaps have been traversing these spaces of extraterrestrial life to then be reformed, I guess, to one doctrine, I believe is out of fear. I think we should be remaining open to everything, and everything in the highest vibration of light and love, of course. But I think to say that these realms are only of darkness, that we don't seemingly have a lot of information about, is out of fear at this point, everyone. And that's not to say you're on the wrong path. That's not to say, you know, those that feel like they need to, I don't know, be baptized in the light of something else right now, is wrong. But I think if you peel back the layers of your understanding, I think somewhere you would see that there is a lot of fear shrouded by your decisions right now to perhaps step away from this more expansive understanding to one particular doctrine. And, you know, please take what resonates. And this message is probably going to land pretty hard for many, and it's supposed to. is what I want to share, because the time is now to just say yes to being confused, to just say yes to saying I'm willing to experience it all and seeing what happens, everyone. And, I am totally arms open for anyone that comes forward with, just a specific doctrine of religion that they are experiencing and that they feel wholeheartedly in, and, teetering on the edge of these realms. Absolutely. Continue to do what feels right for you and your understanding this lifetime. I'm not out here telling everyone, you should drop everything and come follow the Galactics. I mean, it is a great path, but also everything is all encompassing and it is all as one. And, I felt called to bring this forward today because Crow says, I see so many turn away at the final hurdle, and this is out of fear. I knew of something more than just this one God, and I think this is why I turned my head in the first place. And, he knew there was something more he was experiencing, but the way that he was so pushed forward into one doctrine, it flipped him to the other side. And that is something that I experienced this lifetime. Went to a Catholic school. Both my schoolings, my primary and my secondary school, were Catholic in understanding. And I didn't resonate with the idea of one God. I felt something. When I prayed, I felt something. When I, came to the understandings of the Bible and I read it, I understood it and I felt it, and I, felt the love of Jesus Christ. But I didn't connect with just this idea of one man as God. And, I rebelled against that somewhere. I was a rebellious teenager somewhere, and that flipped me to the other side of the spectrum. And, I'm now coming to the full understanding of why all of that was, and it's for a reason, and it's so that I can say, this is what happened to me. And I guess somewhere it was out of fear of feeling like I wasn't in control of something, because I knew there was something more. I was being told there was only one God, there was only one this, there was only one that, but I felt something different, and that felt fearful to me. I think somewhere that felt fearful to me, to think I'm feeling something else, but there is nothing else, no one and nothing else out there to back up what I'm feeling. And I think you go into a state of shock. And time and time on this journey, my mind has been broken down, my whole physical body has been broken down into something else, to the point of feeling like I'm going to die, and then I come back, with more energy than ever. And that's what it takes. You have to come to the point of non-existence to truly find yourself. And I fear that so many are going to just be fearing these realms and, getting trapped in spaces which aren't necessarily yours, or perhaps out of fear staying stuck in realms because people are telling you, there is so much information about this way and that makes it true, which I just don't believe is a truth right now. We are experiencing things for the first time again. We are experiencing so many different understandings at this time, and it's here for you to explore. And everyone's pathway is different, every timeline is different, but I think please just explore in the highest vibration that you can. Do not stick to one space, do not stick to anything out of fear at this time, because in fear, that's when darkness slips into. And I think that is something that we all must remember when we are feeling fear, when we are feeling sadness, when we are feeling grief. These beings are here, and I hear them laughing in my head. I hear them saying things to me, trying to steer me away from everything that I'm doing right now in my personal spaces too, coming to filtering understandings that just aren't true. And it's a lot once you start to realize just how much beings have control over energies, these realms, and you must use your discernment wisely, is what I want to share at this time, everyone. And keep bringing it back to love always. What you feel in your heart is the truth, and everything else is mere hearsay and fear mongering from so many aspects of life right now. But again, I could just keep talking, and I think there is just so much I have to say on all of this, because it's been my personal experience, and I realize now why I've lived the life that I've had, so that I can come forward with this understanding and to say I've experienced quite a lot of these realms, and especially what Alistair brings forward in terms of living in fear, and that being something that allows the darkness to seep in. And I see this time and time again, and this idea of being afraid to die, I think, is the biggest one, everyone. If you are afraid to die, the darkness has already got a hold over you, under my understanding right now. And that's something that we are going to have to look at as a collective. That is something we are going to have to pinpoint together where all of this comes from. But I promise you, it comes from those that are in power right now. They instill, these realms to be in fear. Think of all the horror movies, the ghost stories. It's all fear, 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 fear based. It's not about, nice spirits helping us. It's not about your ancestors stepping forward, those that you love, cherish stepping forward and loving you. It's like, no, they go to the other side, they turn into something grotesque, and then they come and pop out at you and scare you, which just, isn't the case, everyone. And there's been a reason behind that. And I think this is the next hurdle. We are coming up against religion. We are coming up against fear. And to me, those are the two most powerful things in these realms right now, that we could be battling against, is fear and, strict religious understandings. And I think we can all agree, it's caused a lot of wars. And that's my view on it all, everyone, anyway. But that's all that I have to share for today, everyone. And, apologies to whom or anyone that this has triggered. And somewhere also, I'm not apologetic for that, because I think it's time to shake things up. I think it's time to shake ourselves up and say we're ready. And, I say this with so much love in my heart, and I'm here to support anyone, that is in fear, that has any questions for me. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to accept your understandings and say, perhaps let's try and find a way for you to step forward in less fear and, in the support of the light as well. I'm not telling you to ditch your religion. I'm telling you to incorporate your religion and expansive understanding too, and have the two be, in unison together, because then you are stronger. It's having a fear of other, it's having a fear of the unknown that makes you weak. Everything needs to come together to be a stronger understanding, a stronger fabric of existence, and we're going to have to come together. This is going to be the final thing. I think this idea of separation through whatever understanding, and please know that I am heart open however you step forward, as long as it is towards me with light. I am heart open to anyone that steps forward, no matter what your beliefs. I never turn anyone away. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we have to remain in an expansive understanding and be open to everything that is of light at this time, because I think that's where we're going to come unstuck otherwise. But that's all for today. I will be back after the weekend, everyone. Please do take care, and try and balance these spaces out. Go and have some fun, and send so much love to yourself and to everyone out there. I send my heartfelt understandings to all out there. I feel every single being at this moment in my heart. Every single atom that exists is in my heart space, and I'm incredibly grateful for these realms, and I just want more to be experiencing them of light, and to not fear anything out there, because we do have the power. We are in control, everyone. But that's all. Take care.